Nadeem and I am the daughter of Terry and Lillian Morris, who are the founders of Sirame Winery. I have just recently come back into the business after a while of being away from the business and doing other things. Before we started Sirame, I worked in our property division of our company. And now that my children have grown up, I've come back in to do some, help with my father with the Sirame Winery. Yes. I don't drink wine all the time because I drink in moderation. I like to drink wine for enjoyment. So I drink wine on the weekends when I have a nice meal, and I occasionally maybe have a glass of wine during the week, but I do really enjoy wine, yes. Well, Sirame was founded 20 years ago by my mother and father, and my father has always had a great love of wine. He originally bought this property as an investment for property development, which was primarily our family business at the time. And then we found out there was koalas on the property, so the government would not let us develop the property. So my father said, I will build a winery, and wanted to be the best winery in Queensland and make the best wine in Queensland. And I think we've achieved that. Yes. Granite Belt is a really underestimated area in winemaking in Australia. It has a really different qualities. It's different soils to everywhere else in Australia, and because it's a granite soil, that really comes through in the minerality of the wines and how different it tastes. As our winemaker Mike Hay says, he says you can taste the terroir, which is the soil in the wines. Yeah. What I would like to see Sirame achieve is to maybe be the best winery in Australia. That is a very hard ask, as we have very many world-class wineries in Australia, but at the moment I would say in Queensland, Sirame is probably the most prolific and most awarded and most well-regarded winery in Queensland. But we still have a long way to go, because a lot of people still don't believe that Queensland wines are as good quality as, say, South Australia or Victoria. But that's not true. We like to make world-class wines in Queensland. Yes. So I would say that Queensland wines are more easy to drink. We don't, especially now our new chief winemaker Mike Hayes has going away from really heavily oaked wines, except for some special things that we're making. But everyday wines now are more, as he says, you just want to crack the bottle and drink it. You don't. It's more young people want wines to drink now. They don't want to put it in their cellar for 5 years. They want to drink the wines now. Yes. Well, my favourite Sirame wine, of course, is the Nadeem Sparkling, which is our Blanc to Blanc sparkling wine, and it goes delicious with just natural oysters. It's very good. I love Friday afternoons. You can see me with a glass of Nadeem and a dozen natural oysters. So what happened before coronavirus came? We had the label design, and we were ready to go into production to put the label on, and then coronavirus came, and we all, we had to shut down Sirame. So we had to think of a way that we could still get the wine out. So I said, I'll just sign bottles, and it has been so popular. I've actually got to go and sign another batch of bottles this afternoon as well. I used to do a lot of stand-up paddling and be in the water, but I have a very sore shoulder now, and I don't like the sun on my skin anymore so much, so I've sort of retired from that. But at the moment I'm doing a lot of gardening. I have a vegetable garden, and I'm growing eggplants, tomatoes, kale, spinach, rocket, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. But my biggest hobby is my family. I have 4 children, and my oldest daughter, she has 2 children, so I have 2 grandchildren, and that's my hobby, is taking care of my family, really, because they take a lot of care. Yes. I get up every morning during the week at 5 a.m. and I go to the gym. I keep fit and healthy. I believe you've got to keep fit, and that keeps your mind fit as well. And when you're feeling fit, that keeps everything fit. So you eat well. I don't drink alcohol to excess, but I enjoy wine with meals. And I think I've got good genetics. My mother looks fantastic. She's 78 and she looks really good, so maybe it's the genetics. And as I said before, I try and keep out of the sun now as well, because that's very damaging on the skin. Yes, especially the Australian sun, very strong. Yes. I know actually, I was born in a country town in Victoria called Morwell, and my parents lived there till I was 11. My dad was a life insurance salesman, and he did very well, and his goal was to move his family to Queensland to a warmer climate, so we moved here when I was 11. So I went to high school on the Gold Coast. Yes.
So you spent quite a long
most of my
time
life,
living-
I spent more time in Queensland than
I know if I pick up this phone, write this letter.
in the Gold Coast?
Well, one of my favourite restaurants on the Gold Coast is a place at Rabina called Cocotte, and it's actually a Japanese chef and he has studied French cooking, so he fuses Japanese French cooking, but he does it all himself. So when you go, you have to be prepared to, maybe it's a bit slow, but the food is so delicious that it's worth waiting for. Yes. And I also like, at Palm Beach, there's a little Japanese restaurant called Kafu. Iziyaka? Is that right? Izikaya, yes. And that's very good too. It's like tapas, things like that. And I suppose I really love Japanese food because probably one of the, if you want to go out for a really nice night, the Kiyomi at the Star is very nice too, yes. Yes. And of course, Tuscan Terrace at Ceremony for a beautiful day, yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Kiss this and this and this and this and this.
I was really surprised because sometimes I buy kangaroo at the supermarket and I cook it. Like my son actually really likes kangaroo spaghetti, like the spaghetti bolognese made with kangaroo meat. It's very nice. So I didn't mind, but I thought the way he used the animal and using all the parts was just delicious. And I really liked his way of thinking, the way he uses every part of the body. There's no wastage and the environment and things like that. Oh yes, very good. That went really well because the kangaroos are very gamey meat, and so the earthiness of the Pinot Noir went really well with that. Yes. One day when we can all fly around again, I want to go to Tokyo and go to his restaurant there. That's one of my tick the boxes I want to do. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
I was just thinking about you and wondering what you're doing. I mean, what you've been up to. I know it's wrong, feeling so strong. Let me take a second minute out.
Okay, well, I can just say I hope you can all come back soon and come back and enjoy our beautiful winery and enjoy our wines and our restaurants and come and enjoy Australia. And hopefully one day we might soon have a little travel bubble if we all get the coronavirus under control and we can have Japanese Australia travel. Would be fabulous. Yes. And then I can go back to Japan and go skiing as well. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
I just remember what we used to do.
So
Thank you.
You're going to edit that though, aren't you, Toshi?
Oh, yes.